Many people have asked, how does Tahitian Noni International measure up against the leading companies of the world? To find out, we asked Griffin Hill Consulting to do an exhaustive 3-month research on the Inc. 500 list. And the conclusion? Griffin Hill Consulting stated that TNI consistently outperforms the Inc. 500 in terms of revenue growth from inception. Is this really true? Is TNI really outperforming other Inc. 500 companies? Here's a list of the fastest 10 growing companies in the last 20 years to make the Inc. 500 list. And as you can see, TNI has outperformed all others during their first 5 years. In the past 20 years, there were over 9,000 companies that made the Inc. 500 list. And where does Tahitian Noni International rank on this list? Tahitian Noni International was number 1. But we wanted to know for sure how we measured up against all the other leading companies in the world. So we asked Dr. Scott Baird, CEO of Griffin Hill Consulting, to do more research and compare our performance beyond the Inc. 500 list. We asked them to take the Fortune 500 list, the Fortune's Global 1000 list, and the Forbes 500 list and analyze those companies to see where we stood after 7 years of growth. Here are some of the results of that study with the figures adjusted for inflation. Pepsi took 36 years to reach $227 million in sales. Coca-Cola took 52 years to reach $59 million in sales. Pepsi went bankrupt twice in their first 7 years, and Coca-Cola sold for $75,000 in its 5th year. Let's show you where TNI was in relation to these companies. After only 7 years, TNI was at $467 million in annual sales. Now, let's look at Walmart, the largest company on the Global 1000 list, and also IBM and Xerox. Walmart reached $189 million in annual sales after their first 7 years. IBM took 28 years to reach $123 million in annual sales, and Xerox, after 44 years, was still at only $73 million a year in sales. How about Microsoft, Starbucks, and Reebok? It took Microsoft 10 years to reach half of TNI's sales in 7 years. It took Starbucks 17 years to reach $62 million in annual sales, and Reebok took 25 years to reach only $23 million in annual sales. How about Disney, Boeing, McDonald's, and Nestle? None of them can compare with the growth of TNI. How about Sony, Nike, and Marriott? Marriott took 36 years to reach $400 million in sales. TNI has grown faster than all of the Global 1000 companies that you see here. So the question arises, has anyone in all of modern history, whether worldwide, public, or private, ever grown faster than TNI? The answer is yes. Google, FedEx, and Intel are the only companies in modern history, public or private, that have grown faster than TNI. Let's show you the top 20 list compiled by Griffin Hill Consulting of the fastest growing companies in modern history. Number 1 is Google, followed by Federal Express, Intel, and then as number 4, Tahitian Noni International, followed by Sony, Walmart, Nike, Microsoft, Marriott, and McDonald's. Now, let's look at another comparison. If you look at the growth of the Fortune 500 companies and average their growth for 2003, they grew 3%. How did TNI do? They grew 10% in the same period. We grew more than 3 times the rate of the Fortune 500 companies. So, to answer the question we asked at the beginning, how does Tahitian Noni measure up against leading companies of the world? To quote Griffin Hill Consulting, there are fewer than 5 companies worldwide in modern history, public or private, that rival the hypergrowth of Tahitian Noni International. In 2004, Tahitian Noni International is the fastest growing private company in the last 20 years to be on the Inc. 500 list. In summarizing, Dr. Scott Baird said, the Tahitian Noni International story is a rare phenomenon in the history of human enterprise. We're growing and breaking sales records because we're no ordinary company. We have a one-of-a-kind product and a one-of-a-kind management team with Carrie Acey, Kim Acey, John Wadsworth, Stephen Story, and Kelly Olson. We have a one-of-a-kind story to tell, a story of 2,000 years of history, little known by the outside world. Lines of fate have crossed, and now today that story has risen to a contemporary status and is being told around the world and bettering people's lives. And you know what's really exciting? We're still a new company. We're not even 10 years old. Someday, everyone will know about Tahitian noni juice, and if you don't tell them, someone else will. Why shouldn't it be you? Are you going to be on the financial train to freedom and independence, or are you still going to be sitting at the station wondering what just went by? What's your ticket to board the train? It's a TNI distributor application, and it's a first-class ticket. One thing, though, the train doesn't have a final destination. It just keeps going and going until it gets you to where you want to be. If you'd like to become a part of this amazing industry, give us a call. You'll be glad you did.